Over the last year, I've been ascending 4 stars for one very important reason. Unit farming in Summoner Trials. Unit farming for me as a non-spending player is very important whenever I get time to do it. So the best legwork that I can possibly do to get points as quickly as possible is all for the better, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's an important factor. Staying alive and keeping your streak alive is another key element to arena farming and unit farming as well. So over the last year, I have been kind of like harping on about why ascend 4-star versions, and look, there's probably better solutions for where to take your tier 1 primordial dust, because 5-star based ascension is meant to add that extra damage potential. The only kind of key reason that I'm doing it is that I've reached a certain point where still the 4-star roster is relevant, and of course it has to be relevant in Summoner Trials. Summoner Trials, for reference, is the largest unit place that you can go to farm. However, it's not the most easiest when it comes to going past, say, 2 mil. It's then when you go from doing about 100k points per milestone, you're going up to about 300k. I take milestone 19 where it is 4.1 mil, then it's to get to 4.4 mil, there's a 300k gap. That's not all the milestones, but it does get very grindy after a while. And this is one of the reasons I've decided to create, over the length of time of MCOC and Summoner Trials, a 50 champion strong rank 5 4-star team or roster. This is going to help me and has helped me to get to milestones, and as well adding things like the arena boosts and ascension. Number 1 with the boosts grabs me more points. Number 2, when it comes to the ascension, I can then keep my team alive with how I do configurations, which we're going to learn a bit more about in this video, and why I'm kind of like talking about ascension being an important factor for 4 stars. But look, if you're looking to make stronger rosters for champions to take you through content, especially in early game, and you're not too concerned about this, then use your tier 1 dust to how you see fit. This also became a little bit of a relevant based endeavor because I'm looking to get 300 units in a very short space of time before July 4th deals or heatwave deals drop in 2025. So with a full-time job, remodel of the house, and we've got to manage this channel, some content and coverage, I need to minimize my time effort to maximize my output, so I need to keep myself alive. All you people out there, keep yourself alive. References. So what are the most important things to kick off any farming based endeavor? You can see here we've got up to ×3. This is done on a 5 streak and 77,000 points, 77,958. I then, once reaching ×3, put in my ascended base team. And for reference, like, it doesn't mean you get more points per farming. Your champion rating is going to be important. But for clarity, I picked up 36,390 points. I then decided to throw in a non-ascended 5/50 team consisting of Quake, Aegon and Yellow Jacket. A particular team did 34,428 points, which the comparison is that, well, there's no comparison. If you ascend, they're gonna help you out, like motor you through, but if you're thinking they're going to grab you an extra amount of points, that's not necessarily how it works. Especially if we're saying like, oh great, ascended champions did 2k extra points. No, that's not how it works. It's just that they're going to help you out build streaks better, but also keep you alive. So we move on to part 3, and you know, what's the benefit of ascension? For me, looking at the 4-star aspect of creating those infinite streaks, I found this very helpful. So what I did first of all is toyed around with using an ascended champion versus, and you can see there an easy team was got, not necessarily because the rating doesn't exactly kind of tie in that well, but it did feel like that was, you know, a better one to go with. The Kang's team not popping up thus far did give me kind of a thought of like, okay, well, are we actually building an infinite streak? But it's all about the carry through, and Mordo carried through that fight. I've put a little write-up in the description of the configuration, the team that I used after the point of getting the infinite streak that I then saw after previous build-ups. That helped me out. And for context, it was like beginning with 330 champions to build up to the ×3, the 3 times multiplier. Then I would use a rank 5 team of 3. Then when I played, I was finding that I was getting with 1 ascended 5-star rank 4 and then putting in some 330s, that I was indeed getting the configuration of what was considered to be the infinite streak. Seeing Thanos teams, which I'm facing off against right as the footage goes on right now, and that seemed to be fine. The whole process in general does actually help out a lot. I don't know if it will help out a lot of other people, but I definitely found that this was a better method to get to, say, higher milestones with maybe a lot lower, say, if I had less 330s or less volume or 4 stars at a higher rank to then help me out through the process. At least this helps to keep your team alive and have at least one champion with the Ascension that is going to have more health and attack damage that you're going to need to at least carry you. If 2 out of 3 fights win, then you need that one, that strong one in your little team of 3. For those largely interested in the amount of time investment, the full raw recording of this particular video was a 58 minutes, let's call it an hour. In that particular hour, I started off with, which you can see in the top right hand corner, 9,546 units. I then ended it on, which you can see right now, this is live by the way, like in the game part of things, 9,699, meaning that I got 93 units overall, which isn't too bad. I've actually had better times, but a bit of RNG with the not the milestones as well. The milestones, a lot of the units, it was 15 units from arena crystals, which I've done better when it comes to results, but I largely thought that was part of the process because that's what you can do in 1 hour. And like most players, you'll have time to play whenever you can play. I played on my lunchtime, not the greatest use of an hour, I must admit, but needs must, especially if you're trying to push yourself to get 10,000 units to either get the 9.2 deal or to get something from July 4th deals when they drop on the 27th of June. So now to part 4 and the conclusion. I'm sure a lot of people will say, well, there's no point. Like, why rank up or ascend up? Ascend and rank up those particular 4 stars. But I've seen a lot of people do something similar. It's something for years that I've always said about developing a 4-star roster, especially if you're a non-spending player and someone that likes to farm arena in order to allow yourself to grab some units. And with Summoner Trials being that particular arena that allows you to get a large amount of units, I think off the top of my head it's like over 150 by accessing a 100 to 200k per milestone farm. When it gets past 2 mil, as I've said, it does get a little bit stinky on the extent that you've got to invest in. If you've got boosts as well for 4 stars, it does help. But my big thing about this is keeping your champions alive, having strong 4 stars to then take you through that particular farming of content. Yes, you could have something in the kind of lower ends of the game. However, Kabam do give you a lot of like higher ranked and progression based champions like 5 stars and 6 stars more regularly, especially if you've done early content. But there is this big push about if you're non-spending, you need units. Farming in Summoner Trials is very, very important. It's kind of like now feeling like it's built for it. Having a get out of jail free card with one strong ascended champion per team of 3 does mean that it's going to be beneficial for sustaining infinite streaks, from building infinite streaks, and yeah, I mean, I just kind of rate them, but I know not everybody does. Anyway, that's been a video on why I keep talking about ascending 4 stars and the relevance and importance of them. Yes, I'm sure some people will say, no, that's not the case, Rich, but I think that it's important to allow for ease of farming, especially with Arena Express mode not being something for free to play to access. So you have to try and make higher damaging 4 stars to benefit the Summoner Trials based grind. 3 stars, yeah, they're okay, but I do think 4 stars is where it's at. That's been it for the video. Thank you very much for watching and have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. Bye bye for now.